Okay, ready to dive in. Today, we're tackling something I know a lot of you have been asking about.
Yeah, this is a big one.
It is. It's building a happier, more resilient you.
I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're talking 5 habits backed by science for a total mental makeover. And you guys sent in some amazing research for this one.
I was impressed.
I was really impressed, too. I mean, we've got notes from actual scientists, a wellness video that I got totally sucked into.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you're all as serious as I am about upping your mental game.
Love to see it. It's
Yeah.
inspiring. I always say knowledge is power, but it's the action that creates real change.
So true. So let's jump right into habit number 1 with a concept that sounds simple, but trust me, the research here is mind-blowing.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
We're talking about the power of gratitude.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about just like a passing thank you. I'm talking about really digging deep and finding those things you're truly grateful for.
The real deal.
The real deal. Like
Yeah.
jotting down 3 things every single day.
Interesting. We often talk about gratitude, but you have an actual study on this.
I do. There's a fascinating study from the University of California, and it found that after just 3 weeks,
3 weeks.
3 weeks, people who did this consistently, they showed a significant decrease in both anxiety and depressive symptoms.
Wow, that's huge. In just 3 weeks.
I know, right?
That's faster than some diets I've tried.
And probably way more effective in the long run.
That's the thing about these habits. They're not about quick fixes. They're about making lasting changes from the inside out.
It's like we can train our brains to focus on the good instead of getting stuck in that negativity spiral.
Absolutely. It's like anything else. The more we practice focusing on the positive, the stronger those neural pathways become.
So it's not just some fluffy feel-good practice. This is like mental strength training.
Exactly. It's like building mental muscle.
Okay, I am here for it. So gratitude check. What's next on our list for a happier, more resilient us?
All right. Well, this next one is something I think we can all relate to.
Uh,
That's sleep.
Sleep. Oh, yeah.
You know that thing we often sacrifice in the name of productivity or, just one more episode.
Guilty as charged.
But the research is clear on this one. Sleep is non-negotiable when it comes to our mental well-being.
You're preaching to the choir here. I'm all about squeezing in every last drop of productivity. But you're right, sleep is usually the first thing to go.
It's so easy to let it slide. But here's the thing. When we skimp on sleep, we're not just making ourselves tired. We're actually messing with our brain's ability to function properly.
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Well, you sent over this fascinating study from Harvard, and it basically found that consistently getting less than 6 hours of sleep.
Less than 6. That's me some nights.
It's linked to a much higher risk of developing mood disorders, like anxiety and depression.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just about feeling groggy. It's actually impacting my mental health that significantly.
It's like hitting the reset button for our minds and bodies.
So what happens when we don't hit that reset button?
Well, think of it this way. During sleep, our brains are hard at work, processing emotions, consolidating memories, and basically doing a whole lot of mental housekeeping.
Mental housekeeping. I like that.
Right. And when we don't get enough sleep, those crucial processes get thrown out of whack.
So it's like we're running on fumes emotionally and mentally.
Exactly. And that can leave us feeling drained, irritable, and much more vulnerable to stress and anxiety.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light here. Or should I say feeling the sleep?
I see what you did there.
All right, sleep is officially back on my priority list. And maybe I'll even ditch the phone an hour before bed while I'm at it.
Now you're talking.
What's next on our mental makeover agenda?
Well, you know how much I love talking about movement, so I'm excited to dig into this next habit.
Exercise.
Exercise.
Yeah.
All right. I'm listening. But before you tell me I need to be running marathons every week, let's talk about what the research actually says.
Oh, I hear you. You don't need to become an Olympic athlete to reap the benefits. The beauty of this is that even small amounts of movement can make a world of difference. Okay, good to know, because let's be realistic. Fitting in a workout isn't always easy.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to move your body that you genuinely enjoy and can realistically incorporate into your life. Whether it's a brisk walk in nature, dancing it out in your living room, or trying that Zumba class you've been curious about, it all counts.
So no judgment for my questionable dance moves.
None at all. It's all about having fun and moving your body.
Okay, so we're ditching the all-or-nothing mentality when it comes to exercise. I like it. But what's actually happening in our brains when we get moving?
Think of exercise as a natural mood booster. When we engage in physical activity, our brains release endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that have natural mood-lifting effects.
So it's like a natural happy pill.
Exactly, not the side effect.
Sign me up. Where do I get mine?
It's already within you. Just get moving. And it's not just about the immediate mood boost. Regular exercise also helps regulate cortisol, the stress hormone.
Ah, cortisol, my arch nemesis.
Right. Exercise helps keep that stress hormone in check, so you're not riding on that roller coaster of emotional highs and lows.
It all makes so much sense now. I always feel so much more clear-headed and energized after a good workout, even if it's just a quick walk.
Exactly. It's like clearing out the mental cobwebs and making space for more positive energy and focus.
Okay, I'm convinced I'm adding more movement to my day.
Yeah.
What else do we have? All right, let's talk boundaries. That's our next big habit for a mental makeover.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes. Such a crucial topic. And you know what? It's something that a lot of us struggle with.
Oh, absolutely, myself included. It's like we hear all the time, set boundaries, protect your energy. But actually putting it into practice, that's a whole other story.
It's so true. It's like knowing you need to eat your vegetables, but then reaching for the cookies instead.
Exactly. And then we end up feeling resentful or overwhelmed because we've said yes to too many things.
Right. It's like we're constantly running on empty, trying to please everyone but ourselves.
And that's a recipe for burnout for sure.
Yeah.
So what's the solution? How do we get better at setting those boundaries?
Well, first off, it's important to remember that setting boundaries isn't selfish.
Okay, that's a big one right there. Because it can feel selfish, especially in the moment.
It can, but it's actually an act of self-care. And it's about recognizing that you have a limited amount of time and energy.
So true. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly. And when you set boundaries, you're essentially saying yes to yourself and your well-being. You're protecting your mental and emotional space.
Love that. It's like building a healthy fence around your energy. So how do we actually start setting those boundaries? What are some practical tips?
Well, a big one is learning to say no more often and meaning it.
Easier said than done, right?
It definitely takes practice. But here's the thing. You don't have to give a long explanation or justify your no.
Really? So just a simple no thank you will suffice.
Exactly. You can keep it short and sweet. And remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for taking care of yourself.
Okay, that's liberating to hear. Because I tend to over-explain myself.
I get it. We've all been there. But the more you practice setting those boundaries, the easier it becomes.
It's like building any muscle, right? The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And just like with any new habit, it's about starting small and gradually increasing the challenge.
So maybe start with saying no to something small and then work your way up to bigger boundaries.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to reevaluate and adjust your boundaries as needed. What worked for you a year ago might not work for you today.
That's a good point. Our needs and priorities are constantly evolving.
Exactly. So it's all about finding that balance and honoring what feels right for you in each moment.
This is great stuff. I'm already feeling more empowered just thinking about setting healthier boundaries in my own life.
That's what it's all about, taking control of your energy and your well-being.
Okay, 2 incredible habits, down 3 to go. What's next on our list for a happier, more resilient us?
All right. This next one is all about finding your center, quieting the mental chatter, and tapping into the power of the present moment.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
We're talking about mindfulness and meditation.
Mindfulness. Oh, I've heard of it, but I'll be honest, I always thought it was just for like yogis and monks.
That's a common misconception. But here's the thing. Mindfulness is for everyone. It's simply about bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment.
Okay, that sounds deceptively simple, but my mind tends to race a mile a minute.
Oh, I hear you. It's like a monkey swinging from thought to thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do we quiet the monkey mind?
That's where meditation comes in. It's a practice that helps you train your mind to become more aware and present.
It's like a workout for your brain.
Exactly. And just like with physical exercise, consistency is key.
Okay, so how much meditation are we talking here? Because I've got to be honest, fitting in a 30-minute session every day seems impossible.
I hear you. You don't need to start with a marathon meditation session. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a big difference.
Really? 5 minutes? That feels doable.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to access that state of calmness and clarity.
So it's like building a mental muscle again.
Precisely. You're strengthening your ability to focus, be present, and navigate challenges with more ease and resilience.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal here, but I'll be honest, I've tried those meditation apps before, and I always end up getting distracted.
I hear you. It's a practice, and it takes time to cultivate that focus and discipline. But here's the thing. You don't have to be perfect at it to benefit from it.
So it's okay if my mind wanders.
Absolutely. It's all about gently guiding your attention back to the present moment without judgment.
This is starting to sound a lot more approachable than I thought.
Good. And you know what? The research on mindfulness is pretty remarkable. It's been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and symptoms of depression.
Wow. So this isn't just some new age trend. There's actual science backing it up.
Exactly. It's becoming more mainstream as people are realizing the profound impact it can have on their mental and emotional well-being.
Okay, you've convinced me I am adding mindfulness to my to-do list. Or maybe I should say my to-be list.
I love it. It's all about finding what works for you.
All right, we've covered gratitude, sleep, exercise, boundaries, and now mindfulness. That's 5 pretty amazing habits for a mental makeover. What's your take so far?
I'm loving this deep dive.
Yeah.
It's like we're creating a blueprint for a happier, healthier, more resilient us.
Oh, yes. And the best part is we have one more powerful habit to uncover.
Oh, yes. This next one is a game changer. It's all about shifting our perspective and rewiring our brains for more positivity and joy.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Tell me everything. So we've covered a lot of ground today. Gratitude, sleep, exercise, boundaries, mindfulness. It's like we've opened up this whole toolkit for our minds. What's resonating most with you?
You know, it's funny you should say that because I was just thinking about how much I need to hear all of this myself.
Right?
Sometimes I think we get so caught up in sharing the knowledge that we forget to actually apply it to our own lives.
It's so true. It's like we're preaching from the mountaintop, but forgetting to tend to our own gardens.
Exactly. That's why I love these deep dives. Because it's not just about me sharing information. It's about us having a conversation and learning from each other.
Absolutely. So let's make it personal. Have any of these habits particularly resonated with you? Like, what are you going to start implementing in your own life?
Well, that sleep study definitely hit home for me. 6 hours. I mean, I know that's the minimum, but I'm guilty of pushing it sometimes.
Me too.
That's it.
Especially when deadlines are looming.
Exactly. But hearing about the link to mood disorders, that really struck a chord. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to prioritize my sleep from now on.
I love that. What about you? Any other habits calling your name?
You know, I talk a lot about boundaries, but I think it's something I can always improve on.
Same here. It's an ongoing practice for sure.
It is. So I'm going to challenge myself to set aside some time each week to review my boundaries and make sure they're still serving me.
Ooh, I like that. It's like a boundary audit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because what worked for us a year ago or even a month ago might not be working anymore.
So true. Our needs are constantly evolving, and we have to be willing to adjust our boundaries accordingly.
Absolutely. It's all about self-awareness and self-compassion.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation, and I think the biggest takeaway for me is that building a happier, more resilient self, it's not about being perfect.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. It's
Hmm.
about taking things one step at a time and finding what works for us.
And remember, even small changes can make a big difference over time.
So true. So whether you're inspired to start a gratitude journal, prioritize your sleep, or set some healthy boundaries, know that every step you take is a step in the right direction.
And we're here to support you every step of the way.
Exactly. We're in this together.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep exploring those habits and keep shining your light.
And remember, you are capable of creating a happier, healthier, more resilient you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm.
That's it for this deep dive into building a happier, more resilient you. We'll see you next time.